Hey, I'm Steve Krenz for Guitar Gathering. Thanks for joining us for this quick little lesson, I guess it would be, on how to choose the right guitar, how to choose the right guitar for you. Everybody has their opinions on this stuff. I'm a professional player here in Nashville, and I've got some tips for you to finding the right guitar. I've got 6 things I wanted to tell you. And so if you have a little pen and paper, maybe you can jot this down. Everybody is kind of always wanting a new instrument, wanting that new sound. We can often get sidetracked by kind of chasing a new sound, but sometimes you actually do need a new guitar in your arsenal. And when it comes to be that time, how do we know, as we look on that wall of guitars at the big box guitar store, which one is the guitar for you? What are the things that you should look at? Maybe you're unfamiliar with really the fine-tuning things of what to look for in a guitar. So I wanted to help you out with that. Okay, so first thing, some of these apply to electric, some of them apply to acoustics, or both. So first thing, in no particular order. Number 1, get your hands on it. Get your hands on the guitar, and you get it in your hands. You know, there's something about not just the size of the instrument, but just feeling, you know, the neck radius, how your hand fits over the neck. Do you like a wider neck? Do you like a thinner neck? Do you like a rounded neck on the back or more of a pointed neck? You don't think that makes a difference, but actually that makes a pretty big difference in how your hand actually fits over the instrument. If you're getting a classical instrument like this one over here, that has a wider neck. So you want to get your hands physically on the instrument. Another thing is to along those lines is it helps you determine what size you like. You know, if I'm not a very large guy, so I remember one time I had someone had given me a Guild Jumbo, and it was a great guitar, but it was just way uncomfortably big for me. And so even though it was a great guitar, I knew it was a great guitar. I never played it, and eventually it's one of the rare guitars that I've ever sold because I just couldn't use that guitar. Rule number 1, get your hands on it. Okay, only one guitar have I ever bought in my professional career and didn't play before I did it. Avoid ever buying a guitar that you can't get your hands on. Now, sometimes you get caught in a situation where you might need to do that. I was buying my Godin nylon string electric, which are you know, they're kind of a semi-electric sort of a guitar, so I felt pretty safe in getting it, and I needed to get it quick, so I think I got it from Sweetwater, and it's a brilliant guitar. I love it to this day, but that is not how I would normally purchase a guitar. I just needed it because I was getting ready to go on the road for something. So rule number 1, get your hands on the instrument. Feel the weight of it. Feel what you like and don't like about it. Sometimes it's really hard to see just by looking at it. But number 1, get your hands on it. Number 2, sounds simple, but listen to it. Now, what I mean by that is you play the guitar. Listen to how it responds to your playing. Okay? This would be kind of acoustics, I would thinking here. Listen to it, but also get in a quiet space, not in the middle of the music store with all the guys playing Stairway to Heaven. You need to get off in a quiet practice room off to the side and listen to the instrument. Here's another idea. Have someone else play that instrument for you. Grab a couple of them that you're thinking about and have someone else play it, and you sit about 5 feet away and listen to the instruments. It's amazing how much we will just play and think we like the instrument and never actually hear what it sounds like from the front. And what you're listening for is, in acoustics, you want an acoustic that is very balanced. You want a full low end, but not woofy and boomy on the low end. I want it to be full, but I don't want it boomy. I want the mid-range to be precise and not kind of woofy, where it's a little difficult to define. I want that upper end of the guitar to have some presence, some sparkle in it, but I don't want it to sound thin and brittle. So there's a a difference there. And sometimes it's hard to tell just listening to one instrument. So line up about 4 or 5 that you're thinking about and have someone else play them and listen to them. Maybe even play the same thing on each instrument and you just sit there and listen to it. Listen for those things. I want a low end that's full and balanced, not overbearing and too heavy. I want a mid-range that allows all the notes to go through and not muddy it up. The third thing, on the high end, I want that presence. I want that sparkle in that instrument, but I don't want it to sound brittle and hollow sounding. So that's what you're listening for, okay? Here's another thing to listen for. Different instruments speak at different volumes, okay? So one of the things you're listening for is how does the instrument project? Now, it's not necessarily like the loudest instrument wins, but you definitely want an instrument that has some projection to it. And you can tell, you can strum on a couple, and that one's not got it, that one's not got it, that one's got it. And that's what you're trying to determine. It's hard to tell when you don't listen to a bunch of them in a row. So I would suggest grab your top 4 or 5, get in a quiet room, you play them, hear how it feels, hear how it sounds to you, and then have someone else play it and hear how it sounds and listen critically for what you can hear of the instrument. You're looking for a good, balanced sound. That's number 2. Number 3, determine when you're getting a new guitar, hey, what's it for? Why am I buying this? Is it I've got a bunch of single coils and I want a humbucker sort of a sound, I want a Les Paul sort of a sound, or maybe the reverse of that, I've got a SG and I've got a Les Paul, I've got humbuckers, I've got a 335 like this, but I don't have any single coils and I don't have any Fender Strats, something like that. I've got, a smaller bodied acoustic and I don't have a larger bodied acoustic, or I've got a full bodied acoustic, but I don't have something that I can play for fingerstyle. I've got a steel string and I want a nylon string. Determine what do you want this instrument for. You don't want to just get an instrument because, oh, it's pretty. Okay, don't waste your money on that. Don't waste here's a tip from a pro. Don't waste your money on pretty. Pretty doesn't get you a good, a good tone. Okay, I'm up on the second floor of Grun's quite often playing guitars that cost over $100,000, and they're the beat up lookingest thing that you ever would see from 1942 or something like that. But boy, you play that thing, and zing, it comes to life. That's what you're looking for. So you want to. The third thing is, what is it for? You want to get an instrument that is meeting your needs. Musically. Get something that's not just a copy of things that you have. Get something that's going to meet your needs. Bring another. Guitars are tools, and you want to bring another tool, another paintbrush into your capabilities, into your arsenal. Okay? And then once you do that, kind of determine, can this one do that job? Okay, I'm looking for a good single coil sound. I'm looking for a good Fender Stratocaster sound, but I got really knocked out with this, the salesman is recommending this other, guitar or whatever here. Don't bother with that. Get the thing that is going to meet the need that you have, okay? Fourth thing, practical. It's more for electrics, but it's also in acoustics too. Number 4, does everything work, okay? You'd be amazed at how many times you get excited about a guitar. Oh man, I love it. And you never plug the thing in. You never check all the pickups. You never, do the volume knobs, all that sort of stuff. So check these things that need to be checked on a guitar. You wouldn't dream of buying a home without an inspection going on. So don't buy your guitar without testing some things out. I want to know that these tuning keys are working. So tune them, detune them, and put them back up. Feel how they sound. Are they catching? Is that gear in there catching a little bit? Are you getting a as you're turning them, or is it smooth? Okay. Check out all 6 of them. Okay. Check switches, knobs, pots, things like that. Check all of the pickups. Okay. This is the front pickup. This is the back pickup. This is the mid, both of them. This is the tone for the bottom. Yep, that's working. Volume's working. It's not scratchy. You'd be amazed at how many times we don't do these basics of checking out a guitar. Does every switch do what it's supposed to do? Does the jack take your cord out, put it back in there, wiggle it around a little bit? Is that jack nice and tight? Are these strap locks on nice and tight? Things like that. Check the thing out physically. Does everything work on it? You want to look at the neck. You want to look at the truss rod. Not that you're actually adjusting the truss rod, but make sure that it can be adjusted. You're looking at the bridge. How's the bridge down here? You're looking at the bridge on an acoustic guitar. You know, a lot of times on an acoustic instrument, my lovely assistant, give me my J45, which is, or really any of those. Give me that one. Yeah, that one there. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, and then stay close by. Okay. You want to check the bridge right here. Okay. Sometimes this bridge will start coming up, and if that's got a little gap right there, you got some bad mojo. That means your bridge is not where it needs to be. So you want to check definitely right there. Make sure there's no gap right there. You want to look down that neck and see if there's any twists and bends in that neck that are significant. A lot of times you can't tell that. Thank you. Thank you. You want to go through and check the frets. Come on, you're about to drop some money on this thing. Take 10 minutes and check every note on the thing. Make sure nothing is buzzing out. Sometimes you'll get a little fret out of alignment, and that'll be buzzing in one little spot. And you may not notice that until 3 days after you get home and you start playing something up on the neck and you go, hey, what is this? The fault is yours because you didn't check it out. Check all those frets all the way up there. It's not that you don't buy an instrument if it's got the neck needs to be adjusted, but make sure you're aware of that. Also, as long as we're talking about does everything work, have them throw in a guitar setup before you take it home. Make sure, it's always a good thing to have your guitar set up before you take it home. You have a good set of strings put on it and stuff like that. Check your knobs, your switches, your pots, your jacks, your wiring. Is anything loose? That kind of stuff. Make sure you know where the battery is at on these acoustics. A lot of times there's a pickup on the inside, and there's a little preamp, and you got to know where the battery's at. Can you get to the battery? Things like that. You want to check all that stuff out. All right, that's the 4 things. Let me get to, we got 2 more. Number 5, price. Check the price. Now, don't believe everything you see, okay? Do your homework. You're about to drop some money on this instrument. Don't get excited. Don't buy a guitar, because it's on sale. Don't. This is your guitar is a special type of purchase. You want to get a good deal on it, of course, but you don't want to get ripped off on it either. Sometimes folks will say, "Oh yeah, well this is a vintage something up." Just because it's old doesn't make it a vintage guitar. Some old guitars are just old. They were bad guitars back in the 40s, and now they're just still bad guitars. It's just a lot of years and decades later. So you want to know what you're getting a brand new American-made Strat. You ought to be able to go online in 10 minutes and figure out what that thing should be running and what the price is that they're asking for you and things like that. So make sure that you are informed on the price. And especially if you're buying an instrument that is acoustic, that is maybe a vintage instrument, know what the value of that instrument. If you're in doubt, send the information that you can to Groon Guitars here in Nashville, and they will do an appraisal. Send them every model number. The guy's trying to sell you a $40,000 guitar. Hey, you're going to drop that's a lot of money. You better get some expert opinion on that before you start dropping serious amounts of money. Even $4,000 on a guitar is a lot of money. So make sure you know the value before the salesman starts talking at you and wagging his lips at you. Okay, last thing and the most important thing. Okay, we've covered get your hands on the guitar. We've covered listen to it. We've covered what's it for, make sure it's meeting your needs. We've covered does everything physically work on the instrument, check the price out. Here's the most important thing of them all. You ready? Buy the guitar that speaks to you. Okay? Buy the guitar that speaks to you. Don't buy it because it's pretty. Don't buy it because the salesman is... Don't buy your... So many people walk out with the salesman's favorite guitar. Don't buy the salesman's favorite guitar. You want to buy the guitar that speaks to you. Well, gosh, I'm looking at 5 different acoustics and they're in various price points and stuff like here. But you know, this one, I don't know, this one just feels great and I like it and it's not necessarily the most expensive and not even the, you know, but I love that. I love the sound of it. That's the guitar. Here's the trick. You need to look up on that wall of guitars at the guitar big box store, and you've got 100 instruments up there. You want to look for your guitar. Your guitar is something that you're going to have a relationship with for the next 15, 10, 15, 40 years. Okay? So this is an instrument that you're going to be grabbing when you just want to relax at the end of a day, when you're trying to learn something. You have a long-term relationship with this instrument. Okay? So with that in mind, with that picture in mind, you want to buy the guitar that you're going to be playing for your grandkids, that you're going to be playing out beside the fire on the camp out. You're going to be playing in different things. That's the guitar you want to buy. You want to buy your guitar. You want to look on that wall of guitars and find the one that speaks to you. It doesn't have to be the most expensive. It doesn't have to be the most fanciest one with all the inlay and the big names and all that sort of stuff. Don't fall for that. Buy the guitar that speaks to you. I remember I was just enamored with when I was young and didn't know anything about anything. I wanted I think it was a Telecaster style guitar, but I didn't know Fenders or anything like that. It was just kind of pretty. And I'm so glad that my guitar teacher stepped in and said, no, don't buy that guitar. Buy this guitar. It's actually this one. Buy a Gibson 335. And I kind of like that one too, but I was kind of enamored with this pretty one over here. And my guitar teacher said, no, this is one that he'll be playing for the rest of his life. And by golly, look, I'm, 50 years down the road now and still playing this guitar. By golly, Johnny Frisco, my old teacher, was right. You want to buy the guitar that means something, that speaks to you. Hey, if you need to take it home, you need to try it out, to work it out with the sales guy. And hey, I'm going to bring it back tomorrow. Let me just get it and let me just play it a little bit. Let me get it home. Let me take it out and do that. That's what you want to listen for. So anyway, those are my 6 tips for buying a guitar. I hope that's of help to you. Main thing is you don't want to get ripped off when you're buying a guitar, and you don't want to let your emotions take over either. You want to make a smart decision on an instrument that you're going to be playing and loving, and you're going to be in each other's arms for many, many years. So it's a special, unique purchase that you're going to be making music and kind of getting a life from. So hope that's of help to you. Hey, I'm Steve Krenz for Guitar Gathering. Keep up the great work, and we will see you guys next time.